Welcome back, folks. This morning I thought I'd start off showing you some of the fittings we're going to use. We've used these on the swale. We use similar fittings for irrigation up here in the Garden area on the raised beds. We'll use them inside the hoop houses. The only difference being that part of this is going to be drip tape up on the inside on the raised beds. We'll use drip tape as the main irrigation versus an half-inch, like say half-inch emitter line. So we'll make that difference, and these will be, the emitter tape here is 8-inch spacing, and it's going to be, I purchased it on a reel. Sorry, I had to go grab the reel. This is the drip tape. As you can see, this blue line here has all the emitters. So this is the side that faces up. And it's real simple. I mean, it's tape, it's very flexible. And I bought this in, I think I got a 1,000-foot roll here, just because I know I'm going to be using it. So the fittings that you're going to use with the drip tape are going to be the same kind of lock fittings that I like to use for all the rest of the irrigation. The difference is they're designed to fit in and clamp around a much thinner material. This is 15 mil, you know, and your normal, let me grab a piece of half-inch line. This is a piece of half-inch tubing, and there's your drip line. You can see the thickness, the wall thickness is a lot less. So your fittings are going to be a little different if they're going to get tight and hold the water pressure. So looking at a lot of this is, these are mainline parts, and I'll show you the difference. This is a capped end, so this is a capped end to a hose bib, and we'll use these a lot. We'll put a one-way valve on this so that it's set that at minimal pressure it pops open and drains, and it helps you kind of drain the lines out, especially during the winter. You can drain your low points. But this is typically that. Here's one that's set up for the drip tape. If you look at the very ends of them, you can see this has a couple of extra ferrule points. This has one. So this is designed for that thickness, and this is designed for mainline or main emitter line. So there's just a couple differences, and all of them work really well. I'll show you close up when I put some fittings together. But they're very simple. You screw them down, work your line up on there, and then these just screw back. It's a reverse. It's not a righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. It's the other way. And you tighten this down on it, snug it up, got a tight fitting. You know, once in a while you have to take a wrench and just go, eek, you're done. But these are just great fittings. It's kind of the reason that I use DripWorks. That's where everything starts with me. I go to the DripWorks catalog, I look at the website. We're set up on a commercial account, which will save you a bunch of money, so think about doing that. But there's every fitting imaginable. 90s, T's, inline valves, you name it, it's here. These little fittings on the end, these are for half-inch line. You run the half-inch tubing through, you fold it over, you put it back through here, and that's an end cap. These are very inexpensive. These are end caps as well, but they run more money. But these absolutely seal. And what happens with your figure eights or your eights here is that they will tend to leak a little bit. And there's areas that I don't want to waste any water at all, and I opt for the other one. So again, here's an emitter fitting. I'll just show you this real quick. So this is a 1/4 barb, and what we'll do is when we go to put these together, we'll take a 1/2-inch main line. This is not emitter, this is just main line alone. We'll pop the 1/4-inch hole, snap this in, feeds our drip tape. I'll show you that coming up, but I thought I might just show you a few of the fittings that we use. There's mainline couplings, there's pretty much every fitting that you can possibly imagine. Part of our main lines, we're going to be nailing them down, particularly on the back end of the hoop houses. I'm running it now, so once I skin the hoop house and build the gable ends, that everything will continue to work, but it'll have full irrigation here real quick. So with the manifold done, I've got some timer wiring to complete. Once that's done, we're pretty much ready. Once I get these finished, ready to put it online and test it out. So anyway, let's go. I'll give you a kind of a brief runaround, show you what we've got going, and then I'll show you us kind of putting a few of the fittings and drip tape in. So, be right back. Okay, with you here at Hoop House 1. There's where my line comes across. Here's what I'm talking about. It goes underneath. It comes up in this little pocket. There's the 90. And then this will run right along this edge. Just like that. It's going to run all the way down to the corner. I've already done the loop here. You can kind of see right there. Here's it's tagged up. It goes underneath the ground, comes up at this open bed, runs along the top like I told you we're going to nail it. And then this end will be capped, and that will take care of this open bed, which I think we're just going to make a hoop bed and use it seasonally. So that's what will happen. So let me put a few things in. It's my alarm. I got to go change the water. Let me go do that, and I'll be right back, and I'll show you how some fittings go together. Okay, so let's take a quick look here. I just had to run back in and add these corner straps. I put them on because this wood will warp in our humidity. Putting those on just mitigates how much it's going to split and holds the box together. But I had to get those on before I run the tubing. So I've got a 90. This is hoop A, or hoop 1. It comes in, I've already have the 90 on it, so again, my plan is just to tack this onto the back. Second one here. Thing is, put as many of these in as you want. You know, the idea is to kind of keep your tubing up in the location you want it. So when you tap it, not going to be a problem. Since this is the dead end, there's no walking through. This is going to be wall with simply vents on it. This is where it'll go. The other end will have the door. And of course, it won't have anything over there. This tubing will all come from this side. It'll feed that direction. Okay, so we have this last little section. Here's my 1/2 inch piece right here that I brought up. And then here's the 90 we're going to use. And what I'll show you is, you can see how they unscrew back. What you want to do is screw them up. Again, lefty, righty, tighty, lefty, loosey. It's the opposite. So left loosens it, right tightens it. So it's a little bass-ackwards, but you figure it out. So anyway, just simple tubing cutters. You know, this whole thing is really not rocket science. Cut it. Now when you do these, you want to kind of just wiggle them down in, and they'll fit right onto the end of it. Little hint, when it's warm, great time to do this. This stuff is much more pliable when it's warm. Right now it's 70 some degrees at 8 in the morning, so we actually have weather coming. So anyway, with that done, you just screw it backwards. There you go, tight fitting. And then you can adjust it, you can spin it around. Let me loosen that up and get a little better direction on it. There we go. It's pretty easy, just loosen it up, retighten your direction so you get it laying right. And then here's our other piece. We'll cut that to fit. This one will make sure you run all the way up and then put it on. And then you just run this back. You're kind of running it back on a ferrule. There it is. So you'll see where I've got the fitting on. That's the last fitting in this row on this open bed. That's on, and I've loosened the cap. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go manually open zone 1, which is hoop 1 in this stand bed, and we'll flush the system real quick. So we've got pressure in the system now, and she's just beginning to drip. Let me open this up a little more. There we go. Now we're flushing the lines real quick. Okay, so I've positioned my my roll of tape. I put it in a milk crate with a piece of pipe through it, so it's kind of a wire roller. And this one's pretty simple. We're just going to pull it down about like so. I've got two set up with cut ends. So one of the first things I'm going to do is I'm going to figure out where I want to tap this. So I kind of look at just the overall area that I want to cover. I think that's pretty good right there. So I'm going to place my tap about here. For this, I just use one of the standard 1/4-inch punch tools. And again, what I'll do is I make sure this is rolled all the way forward, that is toward this fitting. It slides inside, slides up, there it is. And now I crank this down on top and tighten it up. Now I don't really care if this is facing up or down when I put it in, because everything can be rotated. Snapped in, ready to rock and roll. So now what I'll do is I'll go down the line and I'll tuck this in. I'll do is that to start. Now I got a second row, so I'll come over here and say, you know, that probably works right there. All right, now there's a couple ways to do ends with this drip tape. And one is with this fitting, which what you do is you slide it through the skinny opening. And I don't like these, and I'm not using them. And then what you do is you fold this tape over at least 4 times and then stuff it back in this end. What happens is they still leak. So what you want to do, but it leaks more than I think an emitter does. So I don't like them. The other advantage to using these is of course you can shut the water off. It can be tight. I could also open this up and just flush this line if I wanted to, if I thought something was in there. So there's advantages to both. So with this one, I know there's going to be no leakage, so I'm just going to put it right on the end here. This is going to go in the exact same way. Rusty, what are you after? She may have found a lizard. Seems to be her specialties. All right, and we just crank it back down on the ferrule and the tubing itself. We're done. That's all there is to it. So I'd say this project's done. If you want to see anything more on it, let me know. I'll show you something closer, but this is definitely the way to go. It's the most efficient use of water at the point of need. So think about it when you're planning your next garden out. So that's it for now. Talk to you later. Thanks for stopping by.